Good afternoon. Today is Friday. It's a moon day, so I wanted to talk a little bit about some philosophy over tea time. Not only is it Friday and it's a moon day, it is also exactly 1 week before my birthday, which I like to celebrate with a full week of treats, of little surprises for myself. For those who are Twin Peaks fans, you know the quote from Agent Cooper about treating yourself once a day, every day. Just letting that surprise happen. So I'll get back to my Birthday Shark week in a minute. I wanted to talk a little bit about something I see quite often in the Ashtanga practice, in not a lot of my Ashtanga students. I have beaten them into submission. No, kidding. It's a characteristic that's easily taken up by an Ashtanga practitioner, where we tend to make the practice harder than it has to be. It is a challenging practice. That is certainly no exaggeration. But anything can be challenging. Anything can be easy, depending on your frame of mind, depending on your awareness or your perspective on such an activity. Some people can find restorative yoga very hard, depending on how you approach it. So it's not just that Ashtanga in and of itself is challenging, even though it is. Why it's challenging will vary from person to person. So I wanted to talk a little bit about Sutra 246 today, Sthira Sukham Asanam, essentially translating to finding in your asana, but I'm going to end up taking it off the mat. In your asana, finding a steady, comfortable place, or essentially finding balance between effort and ease. So finding this combined quality of effort and relaxation. So what you get out of your practice, regardless of the style, regardless of if it's yin or yang practice, regardless of what you're doing, you're going to get out of it what you put into it. And a lot of times in the Ashtanga world, that gets translated to the more the better. So it's really easy to fall into the extra struggle in an Ashtanga practice. We cause more suffering than we need in order to find growth and evolution. If you put too much effort into your physical practice without an appropriate amount of ease or relaxation, you're going to cause suffering. Whether that suffering comes in the form of injury or best case scenario, just extra muscle tension, or something as bad as putting yourself into a place of injury because of so much effort, so much struggle. All you're doing is creating more suffering. If there's not enough effort, so this can go on the flip side as well. If there's not enough effort, that will also cause suffering. Whether that is of never really developing the strength for certain postures or certain movements. And so when you actually try to enact them, you don't have the foundational support, and therefore you'll get injured. Or there's that mental suffering that you experience for lack of growth. Same thing with too much effort in terms of mental suffering. You become very, I think you could become very hot-headed, very less flexible in mind. How else would I say it? Very kindly, very aggressive in terms of your your mental dealings day to day. So too much or not enough can cause suffering. So what we're looking for is that combined effort, or that combination of effort and relaxation. These are opposing qualities, yes. And you can go back and watch my video on the oppositional forces that are often at play in a yoga practice. And this is definitely one of those oppositional forces, balancing these two qualities of effort and surrender. In our physical practice, this often comes into play, or it often manifests as opposing muscle groups. So if there's too much engagement, say in the biceps, the triceps aren't going to be able to lengthen enough, and vice versa, these kind of things. Now there are certain times that you want both engagement, or engagement of both opposing muscles. That's not what I'm getting at here. But the idea is that you can't have too much effort and you can't have too much ease. And only you as a student can determine what that is for you. A teacher can push you, they can inspire you to challenge yourself, certainly, but really it's up to you how much effort and how much ease you're going to put into it. So once we use our practice to explore those opposing qualities of effort and ease, we can start identifying concepts of inappropriate effort and inappropriate ease, as opposed to finding appropriate effort and finding appropriate ease. I've definitely gone through phases throughout my practice of being fairly balanced, and then definitely inappropriate effort for some time. I would end up with injuries, and not necessarily just from my physical practice, but excessive effort in all areas of my life without enough ease in other areas to help find balance, to help offset the elements of effort. And then there have been periods in my practice where there has been inappropriate ease, where I wasn't pushing myself enough. I wasn't stoking enough of the internal fires to have the practice actually be healing for what I needed, physically, emotionally. So being around some other people, being around under the eyes of a teacher really helps. My sister, shout out to my sister. She is definitely one of those people that can always stoke my fires. She tends to have a much more fiery practice than I do. And so when we practice together, it's really nice because her fires help stoke me, and my excessive ease or slothiness, if you will, helps calm her a little bit. Whether she'll agree with that statement or not, who knows? Even though I have expressed to her how much I enjoy practicing next to her because of the fire that she helps inspire within me, just from her breath, from her energy that she creates on the mat. So being in a room with other people can help inspire some of this balance between the effort and the ease. So how does this relate off the mat? Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, or if you're just now joining us, you may not have caught it, but like I said, this is the first day of my birthday week, which I like to celebrate as Birthday Shark Week. Back in 2014, Animal Planet put forth Sloth Week that started on June 23rd, that led up to the week of my birthday. For those who were too slow to hit up Shark Week the week before, which I thought was hilarious. So I get torn between celebrating this week as Birthday Shark Week or Birthday Sloth Week. I have a feeling that this is going to be a little bit of both for me this week. Which, sharks, constant effort. If they stop swimming, bad things happen. So they're constantly on the move. They're constantly going. Not that I want to get into the physiology of a shark. So I'm not going to. nor the physiology of a sloth, but the idea is that, you know, balancing effort, balancing ease and relaxation, as well as that drive and ambition and forward momentum. So normally I start my birthday shark week or birthday sloth week celebrating with my shared brain. We usually go out for cupcakes and or donuts, but we always have tea. And she is not here today, so I'm drinking from a teacup that she gave me out of her teacup china, and having cookies. And I'm getting to share this onset, this commencement of Birthday Shark Week with all of you guys. So that brings me a lot of joy, despite the fact that I can't be with Shared Brain today. So in terms of what does all this mean? Why is she just rambling about her best friend and tea time and cookies and cupcakes? It's really hard for me to not do whatever I can to spend this day with her. I was even toying with the idea that I could drive up to Tulsa and see her, not obviously on today, because I teach, but yesterday and tomorrow. But I had considered driving up there for a single night. This is an 8-hour drive, driving up there for a single night, and then driving home, which, while it would send my heart bursting, probably hers as well, we would probably drink copious amounts of tea and consume copious amounts of cupcakes and or donuts and burritos and tacos and all the things we love to eat together. Probably also pasta and peas, because that's another shared favorite. My body would suffer for it, not from the food, but from the drive. Well, I'd probably suffer a little from the food. But sitting in a car for 8 hours and then to do a quick turnaround and drive home, I would suffer from that amount of effort. So, like I said, as much as I would love it, it's not feasible. It's not an appropriate amount of effort to balance out what is necessary to keep me in a safe and healthy situation, so that when I can expend the effort to actually see her when it is more appropriate, then I'm healthy and in a good place to actually enjoy it. So in something like this, while this is a very specific example, I'm sure we all have those situations in our life that require certain amounts of effort and certain amounts of ease. And if there's too much of one or the other, we end up suffering for it. So because I'm not going to drive up to Tulsa, my heart will suffer a little, but it will heal quicker than my body would take to heal if I just spent 16 hours in a car in a 24-hour period, or a 36-hour period. So the idea is that we have to weigh the pros and cons. So I drink tea out of the cup that she gave me. I still honor our tradition over the last, handful of years of consuming a sweet treat at the onset of my birthday week. So, it's not just about our physical practice in yoga. It's about what we take in our practice, what we take off the mat into our life. So, if there's any comments out there, Safa, yes. Birthday Sloth Week, yes. I love sloths, you know that. So keeping ahimsa in different ways and balancing into easeful effort, very much so. A large part of finding balance between effort and ease is keeping in mind this concept of non-harm, non-suffering, or non-harm more than non-suffering in terms of literal translation. But the idea is that if we do the things we need to do to prevent harm on ourselves, our physical body, our emotional body, our mental body, then we are less likely to suffer in each of those realms. So yeah, very much. Thanks for that thought, Safa. Unless there's any other thoughts, I'm gonna get back to my tea time. I'm happy to share it with you if you guys have any commentary, but otherwise I'll leave it here, and just keeping in mind that it's not all about effort. It's not all about ease either. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, restorative yoga can be difficult and it can be challenging for people. Not from a physical perspective per se, or at least from an outside observer's perspective, because from the outside observer, it looks like you're just laying around on bolsters and blankets and having nap time in the dark while a teacher talks you through guided relaxation, and allows you that quiet space to really go deep within. But from an internal perspective, you know, for some people, restorative can be extremely difficult, physically and mentally. To be held in a position, even supported with props, can be extremely difficult. And physically and mentally, you know, quieting the mind can be very difficult. And you're very welcome, Safa. I love holding the space for you guys. I love being able to offer this inside the studio, outside the studio, here in my bedroom, in my little reading nook, wherever that happens to be. I love being able to connect with you guys, to share with you guys. So it definitely makes me happy, as you can see, with the giant smile on my face. Even though Shared Brain isn't here, she's still here, because we obviously share a brain. Which she'll probably be the only one that finds that funny. I'm sorry. But yes, so I hope everyone has a beautiful day. And it is my birthday Shark Week, so I encourage each of you to celebrate, even if you're not celebrating me. I'm okay with that. Surprise yourself with a treat, and it doesn't have to be planned. I honestly surprised myself by giving myself an oil bath this morning. I wasn't planning on it. Then I started to feel the pangs of ladies' holidays, and you're not supposed to do oil bath on ladies' holidays, so I wanted to get it out of the way before I potentially am on my holiday come Sunday when I would normally take oil bath. So that was a nice treat for myself. And now tea time and cookies with you guys. So treat yourself. Have a good day. Bye.